Hey YouTube, my name is Steve. This is my first video on my first channel. I collect paper money and I've been doing so for the last couple years. One of the things I like doing aside from going to shows and going to shops is going through straps, looking to see what I can find in circulation. Just to give you an idea, I pulled out an example of each of the things that I look for and I'm going to show you them right now. All of these were pulled from circulation. The first bill I've got here is an off-cut $1 bill. You can notice that on the right-hand side, the border is extremely thin. On the left-hand side, the border is extremely thick. It's a mild printing error. May or may not be worth a little bit of money, but it's definitely something out of the ordinary. The next bill that I'm pulling out, this one has a print error that you'll notice distinctly right underneath the H. If I was to point that out right here, notice how close the numbers are to the federal seal. Also, the 7's got an overprint on it. It's an extremely dark print. But the main thing on this one is how close those numbers are to that seal. That's something you don't see on very many bills. It stood out to me when I was looking through, so I pulled it out. The next bill I'm going to show you is your standard star note. This one's in pretty good condition. Star notes are what people are what a lot of people collect. I pull them all out and I'll be checking to make sure that I don't have any short runs on the star notes. Star notes were created when the Federal Reserve finds an error in the printing and they replace the note that has the error with one of these star notes. That way it keeps all the serial numbers in check and everybody knows they're getting the proper number of bills. The next bill on the list, this one's called an alternator. You'll notice that the serial number is 07050105. Every other number in this particular bill is a 0. People call these alternators. It's an unusual bill to find, especially in good condition. Next up, this is a birthday note. It's called a birthday note because the serial number is an actual date, 04/12/1952. So that would be either April 12th, 1952 or the 4th of December, 1952. A lot of people collect these as unique gifts. If you find one with your own birthday on it, that's a 1 in 10 billion shot. So they are neat to collect. The next bill on my list, this bill here is called a binary. You'll notice that all the serial numbers, there's only two distinct numerals in the serial number. This one has all 8s and 7s. These are extremely rare. I've gone through about 50,000 bills and I've found maybe 4 of them. They're just not very easy to come across. You can tell by the dog-eared corners that it's not in the best of shape, but once again, you're getting this one for the number itself because binaries are rare. My next bill is a true binary. Let me get the glare off of there. A true binary, it's all 1s and 0s. The binary system that computers used was based on 1s and 0s, so finding a 1s and 0s binary number is definitely a rare feat. These tend to get a little bit of money when you try to resell them. My next bill is what is considered a trinary. A trinary meaning 3. The serial number only has 3 different numbers. This one has 0, 6, and 2. Those are the only numbers that make up that particular serial number. My next bill, I call this one quads. It starts off with 4 zeros, 4 numbers in a row. Some people call them blocks. I like this one because having 4 zeros to start the number means it's a fairly low number in the run. Not in the best condition, but still a decent example of a really low number, and of course quads. Next in the list, after quads, you can go with 5 of a kind, or quints. This one is 8 and then 5 zeros in a row, another 5-number block. It's in a little bit better shape than the previous bill. Next up, this one has 6 zeros in a row. 1 0 0 0 0 0 0 7. Definitely a rare bill to find, to have a solid block like that. You could call it a trinary, I suppose, but most people will be more impressed by the 6 in a row on the numbers. My next bill, this was almost a solid. This is as close to a solid serial number as I have ever gotten. 1, 5, and then 6 ones. So it's a binary, only having 2 numbers, but having all but one 1 is definitely a rare find. One of the other bills you may get lucky enough to find in circulation, this one is called a web note, or a web press note, or commonly referred to as webbies. And I'm going to try to hold this up without shaking the camera too bad. This one is from 1995, and what makes it such a unique bill is that this is an experimental note. They made these in 1988, the series of 1988A, I should say, 1993, and 1995. Now, most bills, in comparison, right where my thumb is, you're going to see where they've got a letter, and then they're going to have the print number. That's for the plate number. The B indicates the location of the bill on the set when they printed the bills. With the web-pressed bills, they were done on a continuous press, just like you'd print a newspaper. So there was no location. All there was simply that tiny, tiny little number there, that tiny number 4 on this particular one. Usually they'll go up to about 10. So that little difference is what indicates this as a web press note. These notes start off at about $15, and some of them will go up to about $800. One of the other variants you'll see on the web press note, on the back of your regular note, you can see the back plate number on this one is 74, and it's located in the lower right-hand side underneath the 1, or underneath the E in 1. But on the web press note, that print number is right next to "In God We Trust." So that's just another identifier for that particular type of note. Once again, an experimental note. They only made them in 88A, 93, and 95. And this one is beautiful and pulled from circulation. Over here I've got my stack of 500. I've got 5 straps that I'm going to be going through to see what I can find out of these. That'll be part of my next video. But one of the other things I wanted to show was, well, part of my other collection, my collection of more rare notes. This was one of the first notes I had ever seen in a card shop, or in a coin shop, that really got my attention. It's first and foremost a $20 bill featuring George Washington. The other thing you notice is that this bill is much larger than the current bills that we have. These larger notes were all made prior to 1928. In 1928, that's when we started with the current size bill. The other thing you're going to notice about this bill here is that it is a gold certificate. Most people are familiar with silver certificates, and some people don't even realize that we made gold certificates. In the middle it says $20 in gold coin. So you could theoretically redeem this for a 20-ounce or a $20 gold coin, which is essentially 1 ounce of gold. Think about that, what 1 ounce of gold is going for today. What makes these neat is the gold seal versus the green seal that we're used to seeing. And they wanted to make sure you'd know that this was a gold note, because if I turn it over, it's blindingly gold rather than the standard greenback. So that does it. That's the first installation of my page. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you look forward to seeing what I can find in that strap and in the other straps I bring to the channel. And I'll also be previewing some of my other bills that I've got in my collection. Thanks for watching.